The words you whisper to yourself every day are not harmless thoughts drifting through your mind. They are silent commands shaping your future. Right now, whether you realize it or not, an invisible conversation is taking place within you. That conversation is deciding what you believe you deserve, what opportunities you notice, how people respond to you, and even what kind of life you continue to create. Most people spend years trying to change their circumstances while leaving that inner voice untouched. They struggle against the world, believing that if they could only change their job, their finances, their relationships, or their environment, everything else would finally fall into place. Yet they unknowingly carry the same inner dialogue into every new situation, recreating the very experiences they hope to escape. The outer world simply reflects the state of consciousness that has already been accepted within. This is why some people continue to repeat the same patterns despite changing cities, careers, or relationships. The true cause has never been outside of them. It has always been hidden in the quiet conversations they have with themselves every single day. But what if everything could begin to shift in only 3 days? What if changing the way you speak to yourself for just 72 hours could awaken a completely different version of you, one filled with confidence, peace, clarity, and expectation instead of fear and doubt? Stay with me until the very end, because what you are about to discover is not another motivational technique or temporary positive thinking exercise. It is a timeless principle that reveals why your inner voice has been shaping your experiences all along. Once you understand it, you may never listen to your own thoughts the same way again. Every visible result is first born in the invisible world of imagination. Before a building stands upon the earth, it exists as an image in the architect's mind. Before a masterpiece is painted, it first appears within the imagination of the artist. Before a tree rises toward the sky, it begins as a seed hidden beneath the soil. In exactly the same way, every experience you call your life has its beginning within your own consciousness. Nothing enters your world without first passing through the doorway of your imagination. This is why your inner conversations carry far greater power than most people realize. They are not idle thoughts wandering through your mind. They are creative acts, silently giving direction to the reality you will eventually experience. Whenever you repeatedly tell yourself, "Nothing ever works for me," your imagination accepts those words as an assumption rather than an opinion. When you quietly believe, "I am always overlooked," or "success belongs to other people," those ideas settle into your consciousness and become the lens through which you view every opportunity. Gradually, your actions, emotions, and expectations begin to align with those beliefs until the outer world faithfully mirrors what you have already accepted within. Life is not punishing you, nor is it rewarding you. It is reflecting you. The mirror does not argue with the face before it. It simply returns the image it is given. Your imagination functions in the same way. Change the picture you consistently hold within yourself, and the reflection in your external world must eventually change. The unseen is always the cause, while the visible is only the delayed expression of what has already been accepted in consciousness. For the next 3 days, I invite you to conduct a simple yet life-changing experiment. Do not concern yourself with changing the opinions of others, fixing every problem around you, or forcing circumstances to move in your favor. Instead, turn your attention inward and become the careful guardian of every conversation you have with yourself. Listen closely to the words that quietly repeat throughout your day. They often appear so automatically that you hardly notice them. You may hear yourself saying, "I'm not good enough, things never work out for me," or "maybe I'll always struggle." The moment you become aware of these thoughts, do not condemn yourself for having them. Simply replace them with the words that belong to the life you truly desire. When your mind whispers, "I can't," answer immediately with, "Everything I need is already within me." When fear asks, "What if I fail?" gently respond, "I am already becoming the person who succeeds." If loneliness speaks, answer with the quiet certainty that you are already loved, valued, and deeply connected. If lack appears before your eyes, refuse to let your inner voice agree with it. Speak instead from the feeling of abundance, as though what you seek is already yours. This practice is not about pretending your present circumstances do not exist. It is about refusing to let appearances determine your inner state. Your power lies in choosing the conversation that continues within you, regardless of what your senses report. At first, this may feel unnatural because your old patterns have been repeated for years, but repetition creates belief. Belief shapes identity, and identity expresses itself as experience. Continue this practice faithfully for just 3 days, and you may discover that the first thing to transform is not the world around you, but the person who is quietly creating it from within. There is a profound difference between wishing for a better life and assuming that the life you desire is already yours. Most people spend years hoping, asking, waiting, and searching because they believe fulfillment exists somewhere outside themselves. They imagine that one day when the right opportunity appears, when the right person arrives, or when enough money is earned, they will finally become confident, peaceful, or successful. Yet this way of thinking keeps the desired life forever in the future. The moment you place your happiness on tomorrow, you unknowingly separate yourself from it today. Creation does not begin when circumstances change. It begins the instant you accept a new state of consciousness as your present reality. If you long to become confident, do not spend your days repeating that you are trying to build confidence. Instead, think, speak, and feel from the standpoint of someone who is already secure within themselves. If you desire peace, stop rehearsing every fear and worry in your imagination. Begin speaking to yourself with the calm certainty of a person whose life is already in perfect order. If you seek abundance, refuse to identify yourself with lack. Speak as someone who already expects opportunities, prosperity, and favor to flow naturally into life. The subconscious mind responds not to desperate wishes, but to accepted assumptions. Whatever you consistently feel to be true, it quietly accepts without argument and begins expressing through your experiences. Your imagination is the doorway through which every possibility enters your world. When you repeatedly occupy the feeling of your wish already fulfilled, your entire perspective begins to shift. You notice different opportunities, make different decisions, and respond to life with greater confidence because your identity has changed before your circumstances have. The outer world always follows the inner transformation, never the other way around. The secret has never been to force reality to obey your desires. The secret is to become inwardly what you wish to experience outwardly, knowing that life cannot help but reflect the state you consistently choose to inhabit. During these 3 days, you may notice something that surprises you. The world around you may appear exactly the same. The problems you hoped would disappear may still seem present. The people you expected to change may continue behaving as they always have. At that moment, your mind will be tempted to believe that nothing is happening. It will tell you that your inner conversations are meaningless because there is no immediate evidence before your eyes. This is the very point where most people abandon the process. They expect the visible world to change first, and only then are they willing to change their state of mind. But the law of creation has always worked in the opposite direction. The invisible must move before the visible can reveal what has already been set in motion. Think of a seed planted beneath the soil. For days, nothing appears on the surface. If you judge the seed by what your eyes could see, you would conclude that nothing was growing. Yet beneath the ground, life is already unfolding in silence. Roots are reaching downward before the first green leaf ever reaches upward. Every great creation follows this pattern. The unseen preparation always comes before the visible manifestation. Your assumptions are no different. The moment you consistently accept a new idea about yourself, something begins to shift within your consciousness long before circumstances provide proof. Do not measure your progress by appearances alone. Measure it by the peace you feel, the confidence with which you speak to yourself, and the certainty that quietly replaces doubt. Continue your inner conversations with unwavering faith, even when your senses suggest otherwise. Speak as though your desired future has already become your present reality. Feel gratitude before you have a reason to explain it. Walk with confidence before success announces itself. Smile before the evidence arrives. Every assumption held with persistence eventually finds expression in the world around you. Time is not denying your desire. It is simply allowing the invisible work to mature until it is ready to reveal itself. Remain faithful to your new inner conversation, for what is now unseen is already preparing to become unmistakably visible. At the end of these 3 days, you may discover that the greatest transformation did not begin in your circumstances, but within your own awareness. Perhaps the people around you have not changed overnight. Perhaps every goal has not yet appeared before your eyes. Yet something far more valuable has awakened inside you. The voice that once spoke with fear now begins to speak with confidence. The mind that constantly expected disappointment now quietly anticipates opportunity. The heart that once searched desperately for certainty begins to rest in a calm assurance that life is unfolding according to a higher order. This inner change is not small. It is the foundation upon which every lasting outward change is built. The person you are becoming is always more important than the conditions you are trying to escape. If you continue this practice beyond these 3 days, it will gradually become your natural way of living. You will no longer react to every appearance with anxiety or doubt, because you will understand that appearances are only echoes of previous assumptions. Instead of allowing circumstances to define your identity, you will allow your chosen identity to shape your circumstances. Every day becomes an opportunity to rehearse the version of yourself you have decided to become. Every quiet moment becomes a chance to replace limitation with possibility, fear with faith, and uncertainty with conviction. Little by little, your inner conversations begin to feel more real than the evidence of your senses. And that is the moment true transformation takes root. Never underestimate the creative power of a single sentence repeated with belief in the privacy of your own mind. The words you consistently accept become the beliefs you live by. Those beliefs influence your choices, your emotions, your actions, and eventually the experiences that fill your life. You have always been telling yourself a story, whether consciously or unconsciously. From this moment forward, choose that story wisely. Speak only what you desire to experience. Imagine only what you are willing to become. Assume only what you wish to express in the world. Your outer life has never been separate from your inner conversations. It has simply been reflecting them with remarkable faithfulness. Change the voice within, remain loyal to that new state regardless of appearances, and allow life to reveal what has already been created in the invisible world of your imagination. The transformation you seek has never been waiting somewhere outside of you. It has always been waiting for you to claim it within. As we come to the end of this message, remember that nothing you have heard today will transform your life unless it becomes something you practice. Knowledge alone has never changed anyone. It is the consistent application of truth that produces lasting results. The conversation taking place within you from this moment forward is more important than any conversation you will have with the outside world. Every thought you accept, every assumption you embrace, and every word you repeatedly whisper to yourself is quietly shaping the life you will one day call your reality. For the next 3 days, make a decision that no matter what your eyes see or what your circumstances suggest, you will remain faithful to the version of yourself you have chosen to become. Speak to yourself as the person you desire to be. Think from the fulfillment of your dreams instead of the absence of them. Feel gratitude before the evidence appears. Walk with confidence before success arrives. Love yourself before anyone else does. Live inwardly as though your greatest desire has already become a fact. Do not be discouraged if nothing appears to change immediately. The most powerful movements in life always begin in silence. Just as the sun rises prepared long before the first light touches the horizon, your new reality is being prepared the moment you accept a new state of consciousness. Trust the unseen process. Be patient with yourself. Persist in your new inner conversations and allow life to unfold naturally. One day, you will look back and realize that the turning point was not a dramatic event, a lucky opportunity, or someone coming to rescue you. It was the quiet moment when you decided to change the way you spoke to yourself. That single decision became the beginning of a completely different life. So, starting today, guard your inner voice with intention. Let every thought become an expression of faith rather than fear. Let every inner conversation remind you of the person you are choosing to become. The world will always reflect the story you consistently tell yourself. Therefore, choose a story filled with peace, abundance, love, confidence, and possibility. Thank you for sharing these moments with me. If this message has spoken to your heart, carry it with you beyond today. Return to it whenever doubt appears, and remind yourself that true change is always created from within before it is ever seen without. Until we meet again, speak lovingly to yourself, imagine boldly, believe completely, and live each day as though your greatest reality has already begun.